Good morning. It's always nice to see the room from this side. Well, I hope everyone is enjoying this last day of November and finding it full of grace as the world outside is starting to close in and prepare for the upcoming winter. Recognizing not only is it our last day of November, but it is also the first night of Advent for those who so follow that. I am Willow Young, And while usually serving over on that side as worship associate, today I have the honor and privilege to lead this morning's service. Along with all of you in shared ministry, South Church is grateful to be led in co-ministry by the Reverend Ellen Quadgrass and Kirsten Hunter, our Director of Lifespan Ministry. Whether you are joining us remotely or here in the sanctuary, welcome. If this is your first time here, you're just visiting or returning after an absence, we are all grateful to have you here today. Today marks that last day of November and our exploration of nurturing gratitude. And just as it takes us closer into winter, it also brings us closer to a season that often calls for hope, for warmer days, loving spirit, or a world that can be reborn from our dreams into a hopefully better future. I'm grateful to be here this morning with Chris Kiper, one of our brilliant worship associates, for the South Church folk for offering all of our fantastic music today, including one of my favorite hymns. Thank you. Jen Leiden in the back and is overseeing our broadcast and making sure that we're seen to the whole world. And to Kirsten Hunter for leading our time for all ages, after which our youngest are invited downstairs for religious education. I invite everyone to please make sure that your devices are silenced, set to stun, turned off. Basically, we want to hear each other, not them. We also offer large print hymnals and headsets. If you'd like either, the ushers will be glad to help you. And after the service, please join us for coffee hour, including treats, connection, and conversation. And if you'd like a chance to make this morning a bit different, I encourage you to connect with someone you are less familiar with. And you might even ask something simple like, what is something you're looking forward to this winter?
I have a few announcements for us. Good morning, all. Please read this. The order of service has lots of information about the things I'm going to mention and other things too. I believe our auction folks are still downstairs today for picking up auction items. If you haven't done so already, they're set up on the far side of the social hall. There is also next weekend, starting on Friday, a few really joyful things happening here at church. Friday is the hanging of the greens. So folks are invited to come at 4 if you'd like to put up the greenery in the sanctuary, or at 6 if you'd like to be a part of our holiday celebration where we see the greens hung and we have some potluck food downstairs and sing some carols and just kind of bring in the season. So that's on Friday. And then on Sunday of next week, there is the Children's Market, which is a free market for our children and other children in the wider community who would like to come and do some Christmas shopping for loved ones without having to have a bank account. So that will be happening on the Sunday of next weekend. There's also 2 discussions over the next 2 weeks. Next Sunday, there's an information session for anyone who's thinking about going on the adult learning journey to New Orleans, which I will be hosting. And the Sunday after that, on the 14th, there's an information session for anyone who's curious about Adult OWL, our Whole Lives Sexuality Education Program, is going to be expanded to an adult offering this year, and there's an information session about that on the 14th. Last thing, we are still looking for ushers for Christmas Eve, particularly for the 8 p.m. service. So if you're coming to the 8 p.m. service and you'd be willing to be an usher, we would love to have you sign up for that. There's more stuff in here. Please read it, and thanks for being here.
Thank you. And finally, as we begin our service, we pause to acknowledge the land on which we gather. For thousands of years, this land has been home to the Abenaki and Pennacook peoples, people who cared for it with wisdom and respect. We honor their continued presence, past, present, and future. We remember that compassion and belonging are not just about our circle today, but about being part of a much larger circle of life and history. May our remembrance of these peoples call us to seek gratitude in their collective wisdom, and that together we may deepen our own gratitude for this land, while strengthening our commitments to justice, healing, and right relationship.
Good morning. As we light our chalice here to bring us into a space of reflection and togetherness, we invite people watching at home to light a candle or chalice of their own. These words are from Pat Uribe Lichty. We gather to find new ways of loving, new ways of thinking, new ways of being. We gather, yes, we always gather, for it is in gathering that we find our hope. Today marks the first night of Advent. Erwin will light our first candle. Light now the Advent candle 1. The work of waiting has begun. A single flame now shining bright beams hope through the long stretch of night. Please rise in body or in spirit and join me in reciting the mission statement printed in your order of service. At South Church, we nurture spiritual growth through friendship, learning, and community. We celebrate the worth and dignity of all people, inspire one another to act on our faith in the larger community. Sometimes I find it hard to believe that I exist, that we're all actually here. One way that I nurture gratitude in my own life is to reflect upon how extraordinary all of this is. Here we are, each of us experiencing our own reality, constructed from some type of consciousness that we can't explain. I don't know where I came from. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know if I have free will. I don't even know what happens when I die. It's been calculated that if you counted every grain of sand from every beach on Earth, got that number? In our universe, there's more stars than that. What is going on? I'm grateful to be consciously significant and cosmically insignificant. In Tibetan Buddhism, it's said that to be born human is rare, precious, and extremely fortunate. I don't know if I believe in reincarnation, but when I think about the odds of my own existence, our galaxy forming, our planet orbiting a calm, stable star, we're precisely in the narrow band that allows liquid water to be possible. This perfect moon that keeps our tides and our tilt in check. A climate that has changed for billions of years, but right now is just perfect for life to flourish. An unbroken chain of hundreds of thousands of ancestors surviving and reproducing. The odds of my mom meeting my dad. The odds of one exact sperm meeting with one specific egg. I'm so grateful that I exist, that I can't explain any of this, and I think that's the point. I want to share this poem by James McCrae. You can close your eyes or not. It's called Instructions Before Visiting Earth. In the event that you wake up and find your soul separated from source and manifest into physical form, don't panic. Your condition is only temporary. You have been selected for the opportunity of human incarnation. This 3D simulation is designed to break up the monotony of eternity by giving you a fully immersive experience as a distinct ego identity. Your body will serve as your physical avatar as you navigate a dense and dramatic reality. There will be many distractions causing you to forget your true nature and origin. You will experience a range of emotions from joy to loneliness to despair. But remember, no matter what trials and traumas you encounter, your soul remains perfectly safe. At times you may feel lost or afraid. This is totally normal. If you ever need guidance, simply slow down your busy mind and bring awareness to the quiet place inside yourself. On this planet, nothing is permanent. People and things will come and go. You will fall in love, form sentimental attachments, only to lose everything you hold dear. So cling to nothing too tightly, even yourself. And when it's time to let go with grace. For nothing is owned, only borrowed. As you walk among the people on this planet, try to be a good guest. Tread lightly. Remember that you are only visiting. Don't make a mess. Listen more than you speak. Give more than you take. Don't keep your soft heart locked inside a glass cage, protected from wear and tear. You'll never make it out alive, and time passes quickly. So come back with some battle scars and good stories to tell. Please rise in body or in spirit for our opening hymn. Just as long as I have breath, number 6 in your gray hymnal.
Okay, if there is anyone who would like to hear a story from a little closer up, you are welcome in this region near me. So I have an old wisdom tale to share with y'all today. There's some college kids home, by the way. It's very distracting. So this is I do not know where the story came from, a story that's been passed on from person to person across the globe. And it is about an old elder who is standing by a well, as they did pretty much every day of their life. And they had with them a big ceramic pail, which every day they would carefully bring to the well and lower down very slowly and carefully. Because if the pail were to hit the side of the well, it would crack. And so every day they would come to the well and take that ceramic pail and slowly, slowly, slowly lower it down with the rope. And when it reached the bottom of the well, it would tip into the water and fill. And then again, ever so slowly, they would lift that pail up out of the well. It took a long time. It took a lot of concentration. One day, the elder was doing their daily task of retrieving their water from the well, and a younger person came by who happened to know a bit about mechanics. And this younger person said helpfully, "I could help you make this task much easier. There is something called a pulley, and we could set up a pulley for you where you can just simply operate the pulley, and your pail will go straight to the bottom of the well. It will fill with water just as well as it does with the way you're doing it, come back to the top, and be much less time-consuming and much less at risk of hitting the wall of the well." And the elder smiled at this younger person and said, "Thank you so much for your thoughtful offer, but I think I will keep doing it the way I have been doing it, because it takes so much concentration for me and so much time. And by the time I have finished lowering my pail all the way down to the bottom of the well and bringing it back up filled with water, the water tastes so good. And I can't imagine it would taste as good if we were to use a pulley." Have you ever chosen to do something that takes more time because the taking of time is a part of what makes it special? You have. If anyone wants to share an example of that, you can. Or you can just think of it to yourself. Raise your hand if you'd like to share an example. Do you have an example of a time? You do? What's your example?
If, you were drawing and you took your time to do it.
Drawing is a really great example. You could do it fast, but it's all about taking time. Yeah.
Baking.
Baking. Did anyone take their time baking this past week? I see some hands.
Okay, so apparently I've been trying to write books, but I've been screwing up, and that is not convenient.
Are you taking your time?
Okay, I guess I could start that.
Yeah, maybe that would help, Max, if you take your time. As you go into your week this week, as you move through this month of December and this time of less daylight and more darkness, see if there are places where you might want to take your time and see if the water tastes sweeter when you do. We're going to sing a song as our young ones head downstairs, if they wish.
The offering is a time to reflect on the abundance of support and love that this church offers, recognizing the financial responsibility for operating this historic building and providing meaningful programs and services to our community. In months with 5 Sundays in 2025, the Board of Trustees has approved the use of the entire collection plate on the last Sunday towards paying down the principal on a loan that the church took out to upgrade this building and the meeting house. In addition, a small group of church members has offered a $3,000 matching challenge to the congregation. So for every dollar collected from the congregation on these 5th Sundays in 2025, that group will match the collection dollar for dollar up to $3,000. The QR code in your order of service provides a link to contribute digitally. Please give as you are able. The offering will now gratefully be received.
I invite everyone into a moment of reflection, meditation, or prayer. And as you choose, let yourself settle into a space that welcomes your spirit. O Spirit of community, let us give thanks. Thanks for family, friends, and community. Thanks for the connections that keep us grounded, sure of spirit, and supported in our struggles. Thanks for the struggles that invite reflection and the call to our better selves, that even in a world filled with harm, fear, and division, we can be gifted a vision of a better way in which to guide our souls. And that with each breath, we experience the grace of calling forth gratitude, and not just our existence, but in what is possible. I continue with words from Reverend Victoria Safford, The Gates of Hope. For our mission is to plant ourselves at the gates of hope, not the prudent gates of optimism, not the stalwart, boring gates of common sense, nor the cheerful, flimsy garden gate of everything's gonna be all right, but a different, sometimes lonely place, the place of truth-telling, the piece of ground from which you see the world, both as it is and as it could be, the place from which you glimpse not only struggle, but the joy of struggle. For all of this, may we find the grace to fuel our hope. We open up this opportunity now to continue to take a moment and reflect quietly to yourself, or if you wish, to come forward and light a candle of joy or concern in any form of personal reflection. And if there's something you want us to know about, please do take a moment and write your concern on one of our yellow pastoral cards in the pews so that our pastoral team may be able to help you out. The author Kurt Vonnegut once speculated that instead of the 4 seasons that we exist in this part of the world, we might actually be better off categorizing 6. That in between winter and spring, we ought to have a season of unlocking. It's a time where spring is not fully in bloom, but the days start to be noticeably longer, warmth starts to return to the air, and nature is clearly making all of these preparations to burst into the world. This might fall generally March and April. But on the opposite side of winter, once the farewell burst of color from autumn comes to its end, say into November and December, would be the locking. At this point, nature is making its last preparations for hibernation. We've stopped expecting the occasional warm day. The night sky is more frequent than the sun, and we prepare for winter. I'll admit the more pragmatic part of me kind of always liked this metaphor. Maybe because it offered more than just the experience of a season, but a framework for me to act within. Sort of like tasks that give me something to do in the face of the inevitable. Because I certainly couldn't stop winter from coming as much as I might try, pray, complain. It's just going to come. However, I could prepare myself for it, just as I can remind myself to open up to the magic so that I adore spring and summer. To me, this turns out to be a lovely metaphor for my own agency, and in small ways in which I may participate in the changing of the seasons and not just experience them. So here we are in the middle of locking, exactly in the middle, moving from a month framed in gratitude toward one that seeks hope. As human beings, I believe we come to these ideas of gratitude and hope in ways that fit easily into the natural world in which we survive. As the harvests came to be stored for the winter, we often gathered in thanks and ate together. And the next month, as we start counting the days to the solstice, knowing those longer days are just soon coming, hope seems just at our fingertips for the possibility of rebirth. And yet both gratitude and hope start to become tools in our physical and emotional survival through the winter. For some, myself included, this is also the hardest time of the year, when depression and dark thoughts become thriving weeds, running their tendrils into every inch of being, when therapists are checking on our preparations for sad season. Throughout November, we have been invited to contemplate gratitude, and gratitude beyond the passive. Rather than waiting for serendipity to strike, how might we actively reach out and nurture gratitude? Brene Brown once shared that every single person she interviewed that described themselves as joyful had a gratitude practice. Now, I don't discount her research, but I find it hard to just start rattling off that which I'm thankful for. In fact, speaking personally, when I've tried to make that a daily practice or a regular practice, it's more exhausting than just being grateful. Suddenly there's judgment around me. More likely, it's my inner cynic providing commentary on the value of the things in which I'm being grateful for. That I'm not adding enough import to which I should be giving thanks. Too often, what I would write down felt more like I was faking it, rather than having an actual experience of gratitude. So, while gratitude practices are wonderful, I'll tell you, the daily writing of one's gratitudes down was a complete waste of time, energy, and soul for me. Because no matter what I expressed, it felt like disheartening platitudes, informed by my optimism and scored by my cynicism, leaving little room to recognize my actual experience. And I will admit, I do find it easier, too, to express my gratitude and celebration of others. That's always been easy. I find other people to be worthy of that. I enjoy that. But I still find the challenge in offering such gratitude to myself. So this meant hope is now swimming into this challenge as well. Right? Because hope is this thing that's supposed to be carrying us through the winter is instead twisting into a restless fever dream, not quite a nightmare, rather a vision of a better world on a good night. Especially given the onslaught of physical, emotional, and systemic attacks against those most in need. Well, hope starts to wilt and wither away in the cold, dark nights. Nothing in the moment feels connected to the achievements of the past or the dreams of the future. So last week, I was invited to offer a eulogy at a Transgender Day of Remembrance. It was a real treat. It was both a sad and a really lovely evening. We probably had close to about 100 people in attendance. And what felt especially difficult this year was how much longer we ended up taking for reading the names of lives that had been taken. See, lists now have started including not just people who have been physically lost to us through violence, but also those who have succumbed to suicide, alongside those who are lost to the physicality, those who've lost the emotional battle. And just to give a sense, this last year, back in, 2024, it took us about 30 to 35 minutes to read the names and the bios of the young people lost. This year, it took us almost an hour and a half. Hard to find hope there. Now, I am an optimist, and by nature, I like to think positively. I try to imagine the best in others. I don't even really care for angry language. But as I was doing my preparation, reading through these obituaries of almost 60 people, I was struggling to find an approach that would not bring out my rage or leave me in this crumpled ball of tears. Somehow, though, I knew it would be important to find a tone that might be experienced differently. I'm glad I did. See, each of the speakers that preceded me spoke wonderfully, they spoke honestly, and they spoke drenched in their pain, their fear, and their righteousness. And secretly, I was grateful. Yes, grateful to have landed on a different tone. Because when my turn came, it was filled with reflections on my first Transgender Day of Remembrance back in 2019. And an echoing of my beliefs today in the strength, resilience, and magical wonder of those people, of all of us in the transgender community, as models for how to live well for all humans. And I was mindful. In some ways, I felt like I was writing with broad strokes about those we lost. All of those names and stories were overwhelming. I didn't want to accidentally lessen any one person's story. And so I ended up sharing what I experienced those 6 years ago, standing in a crowd, having just recently come out to my whole world, realizing somewhere along the line that it was actually my first time in open queer space, being wholly out. And here I was at a funeral. And at the same time as being in this space of grief, feeling this sense of joy, because I was finally experiencing the freedom that these young people, these people who lost their lives, were not able to continue on with. And that 2019 November evening, I was grateful to find space that was authentic, even though it was overwhelmed by loss. And I was hopeful at the same time about the direction my life had taken. So back to last week, I ended up sharing how this moment and everyone since has called me to something higher, has called me to recognize the privileges that I've had, has called me to see the light in the lives that struggled so hard to be their most honest self. I started to see and continue to build this mosaic of stories and people where I can't hold on to any single one of them, and yet there's no need. Because even in my grief, there's this joy in seeing the kaleidoscope of color in all of these lives. And I would find myself lifted up by the dreams of those that were lost, called to carry their voices into the world. Simply, for that night, I had offered a celebration of life alongside the grief. But here's where the real impact of that sharing was for me, is that it wasn't in the writing of my talk. It wasn't in the exploration of these people's lives. It was in that moment when I was speaking in front of the room, in the middle of this eulogy. I was so grateful to be invited to share a story. I was in awe of the breadth of emotion. I was even kind of surprised at the quality of my own writing. I had a few good lines in there. I'll share it with some of you sometime. But ultimately, I was grateful. I was truly grateful to have found words that could bring some sense of healing into the room. Everything in that moment felt like a gift. Now, what happened? Because I mentioned at the beginning of service the danger of hoping for hope to show up serendipitously, right? But upon reflection, what happened was not the serendipity of hope coming out of nowhere. It was taking a moment to have clear awareness of how I might be practicing and nurturing gratitude right then and there. It's not something I have to wait to become present. It's a perspective I can use in the moment, at any moment, and every moment. So I invite everyone to think back, just 1 year from today. That would be November 30th, 2024. And if you're not sure, it was a Saturday. Okay? And so try to think about what you were doing on that day. At that moment in your life, what might you have been grateful for? Just kind of hold that thought in your head. And once you have that, let's jump forward all the way in time to a month ago, say October 30th. And I'm sure you can come up with something that you may have been grateful for on that day. Do you have it? Now look to last week. You were probably sitting in this very room. What's something you were grateful for then? How about yesterday? What were you grateful for yesterday? How about an hour ago? What were you grateful for then? 5 minutes ago? Hoping Willow has a short sermon. And how about now? Right now? In this moment, what does your heart celebrate? And how does this make you feel inside to just look in this moment and say, I want to practice gratitude towards what's ever present to me? See, for me, as I get closer to that moment of now, each time I'm stoking the fires of gratitude, I'm experiencing a richer, more tangible experience within me. This nurturing of the moment that I'm in now, being grateful for what it offers me, good or bad, positive or negative, that there's something in the now. Just out of curiosity, for those who are feeling something now, how much did it feel different than the feeling of trying to come back to that gratitude a year ago? Yeah, it felt stronger, didn't it? It felt resonant. See, this is when my senses were most awake. Awake to grace, support, and strength. I felt in my gratitude to others, and finally myself, a massive well, a bottomless well of hopefulness. And hope suddenly transformed. Because hope can be really hard to hold on to, right? In fact, our theme in December is choosing hope. But hope in its own way is another feeling that I know I can too easily let go of. And maybe it's because it's too easy to let my experience of hope be influenced by the world around me. Because hope, just like those gratitudes, can feel like platitudes. Tomorrow's a new day. It gets better. Well, especially in a world that provides many reminders and encouragements to abandon hope, I'm often struggling to hold on to hope and finding it to be the grains of sand passing through my fingers no matter how tightly I hold it. Suddenly, less of it is there. Margaret Wheatley wrote, "Relying on hope sets us on the path to despair and cynicism. The very emotions that we are trying to avoid by grasping for hope in this culture, hope becomes an addiction. Through the haze of addiction, we grow increasingly confused over what can truly sustain us to stay active and caring in this world. If we don't see big results, why would we work so hard? If we don't succeed, what's the point in doing?" But when I do these exercises, like the past to present reflection, I find that well of gratitude grows. And when I try going forward from the future to the present, sometimes I find my future is informed by my mood. Did I have an optimistic mood at the moment or pessimistic one? I could imagine a wonderful future, but without hope, I couldn't see the value in the effort to get there. But what if hope, like gratitude, was that active entity, more than a picture of a desired outcome, more than a fantasy of what could be, but in fact the very fuel that filled my dreams with possibility, that allowed my optimism to feel grounded, tangible, and meaningful. Because hope is more than a desire for a better outcome. Hope can be a calling to create from one's higher self. Hope is the fuel to cause change. And that's what I want to do, is I want to choose that hope that is really lasting. So to me, it is about choosing to fuel the future of my dreams. And it's rare that hope just pops up. Sometimes it does. Something magical may pop in front of us and say, oh my gosh, I have hope for the future. But I still get to have agency. That's what the seasons taught me with locking and unlocking. I get to play a part. And so for me to have that hope that will support and sustain me, maybe it comes back to nurturing that gratitude, especially for what is ever present right now. When the hope is thin, look around. Notice the gratitude. Notice what you want to richly feel in this moment. And as you do, what's the nature of the hope that is available to you now? And what part of that will you choose to carry into your future? What are your senses awakened to now? And with that, we'll invite you to rise as you're willing and able, to join us in the hymn 298, Wake Now My Senses. We will be singing verses 1, 2, and 3.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and into the world until we are together again.
I'll offer some words offered in dialogue with an affirmation of hope by Rita Williams. And just the tip, my words are the ones that start with thank you. Thank you for the lesson, however painful this moment gave me. We bearers of the dream affirm that a new vision of hope is emerging. Thank you, friends, for standing together. We affirm that there is a struggle yet ahead. Thank you, hands, feet, and creative hearts around me. We affirm that we are co-creators of the future, not passive pawns. Thank you, tired, scared, and angry voices. We affirm a unity that opens our eyes, ears, and hearts to see the different but common forms of oppression, suffering, and pain. Thank you, hope. We pledge to make our tomorrows become our todays. Blessed be, amen. Thank you.
gratitude, my love.